Heated tyres going on to the Citroen of Mehdi Banani. And there'll be another set in tyre heaters waiting for him on the grid. So the tyres that he will leave the pit lane on to go to the grid will not necessarily be the ones on which he is going to race. Work going on underneath the Honda of Montero or Tarquini, I wonder. I would sense maybe Tarquini. Let's hear, though, from Hugo Vallant.
Well, yesterday, Hugo prayed that the black cat would disappear, and I think we can safely say that that has just happened. Well done, you. What was that like for you?
It was good. I mean, I was a bit disappointed about my start. I managed to keep third place, but then Ivan and Lopez touched a little bit in turn 2. And I thought maybe I could go on the inside, but I made a mistake myself as well. I went a bit wide. The rest of the race was just managing the tires, trying to keep contact with Ivan, but he made a gap around mid-race, and then keeping the guys behind me. But I thought it would be harder than this, to be honest. It was fine. I'm just a bit disappointed because I really wanted to win this race, and it's like the third or fourth time I finished third now, so it's like at least second, you know. But no, it's getting better and better. I'm happy about the car, and it's great to be there in race 1. It feels like a much bigger achievement than race 2.
And this must have affected your confidence as well. Talk to me about looking ahead to race 2 then.
Race 2, it will all be about the start again, and then we'll see what position we're in, and we're gonna try to catch the guys in front. We know we're faster than most of them. Then again, I have Lopez and Ivan starting behind me, so altogether we'll see how it goes, but definitely try and do some overtake and score some points.
Thanks, Hugo.
Well, he is definitely chock full of confidence. Plenty of speed in that car as well. I do think it was Gabriele Tarquini's car that we saw being worked on underneath, making adjustments to his setup. Let's hear from Ivan Muller.
Ivan just getting himself into the car and getting ready for race 2. How was the race 1 for you? Slightly disappointed not to win that one, Ivan?
Yeah, of course, but everything was done at the start, unfortunately. I had not enough power after 20 meters. And that cost me the victory, but that's racing.
You're under investigation for the original start. What was the problem there?
I don't know.
So the abandoned start was due to the fact that apparently you were out of position?
You learned me that, I don't know.
Okay. Oh, this is hopefully we'll have no effect because it was a nice race. And what can you do from race 2?
I will do my best.
Okay.
Well, Ivan clearly thinking he pulled into the right grid spot, but from what we understand, we don't normally start the cars on the front row of the grid. We start the front row of the grid a row back from the front of the grid.
Now, I always thought they had a flag marshal to line the first 2 cars up, but
yeah,
normally
you have row grid boards and stuff sticking out through the walls and whatever. But there is the result at the moment. Lopez ahead of Muller. And interesting, when we saw Lopez behind Muller, he suddenly jinked out from behind Muller. And is that where Muller's car stuttered, I wonder? Well, there's Tarquini's floor going back on. Alex is with Gabriele.
Well, Tarquini, race 1, you started from the back, but you managed to get up to P11, I believe, even by like lap 7. What's going on right now? Looks like they're doing something to the base of your car.
Yeah, we changed some setup. I mean, nothing to lose. I will start again last, and we try to collect some data for the next few races. So we changed the something on the rear suspension to test.
You're planning on doing exactly what you did in the last race? I mean, the people that are in front of you.
Right, well, they're going to have to go because he's only got 6.5 minutes to get out of the pit lane, and they still have work to do. And Matt, he's exactly right. Nothing to lose at all. They can make a major suspension change, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. He starts last. He's got, he's 6 places away from points as it is, so he's the ideal test dummy now. If it works, it's great. They've learned something new.
Yeah, poor old Alex getting muscled out there, so they've got a few more pertinent things to attend to.
Yeah. So tyre warmers come off. Still 6 minutes, so they have got time, but maybe he wants to do another installation lap, go round, come back through the pit lane and go out again, and he will need all that time to do that.
Well, it's a pretty fundamental change. I mean, they've had some part of the flat floor off, which takes some doing, and
so that'll be a roll bar.
I would imagine it's pickup points, so that is going to be rear roll centres.
Yeah,
they're going to be, which is a fundamental thing that can.
We talked to Thiago again this morning about the car, and he was saying that they have had different setups. Him and Norby, for instance, qualifying had radically different setups, and yet both reported the same exit understeer problem. So they are looking at doing something with the rear roll. It turns in nicely, the rear steer is working nicely to get them into the corner, but it's getting off. They've got too much rear grip, so maybe that's what they're doing, is trying to make the back of Gabriele's car roll a little more. Completely fallen out of bed. Rob Huff in the Lada Vesta, ready for the start of race 2 here in Hungaroring. Minute and 40 odd seconds before the pit lane closes, and just about everybody has now left the pit lane. Stand up and look out the window, everybody has left the pit lane. There on pole is the local hero Norbert Michelisz, and just ask the truck, can we pull back with that shot please in the truck and show the first row of the grid? That is empty and should remain so. That would be very useful. And that's rather too far of a long shot, however. Round 6 of our championship. Second race of the weekend here in the Hungaroring. Race 1 won by Jose Maria Lopez from 3rd on the grid. Grey skies overhead, but again, Matt Neal still hasn't started to rain. And for the Hungarian fans' sake and for Norby's sake, I think probably they would all hope that it doesn't rain in race 2.
Yeah, we had a sprinkling of drizzle leading up to the start of race 1. That seemed to sort of peter out, and then we had a solid dry race for the first one.
Well, there is your grid for race 2. Norbert Michelisz, Tom Chilton, Tom Coronel and Rob Huff, the top 4. Norby in 10th place in race 1, or 10th place on the grid in race 1, starts on pole. Thiago Monteiro, Qinghua Ma, Sebastian Loeb and Jose Maria Lopez ahead of race 1 front row starters Hugo Vallant and the race 1 pole man Ivan Muller. And further back is Michael Kozlowski, starting behind Gabriele Tarquini for reasons of which I am unaware. It's been an awful lot of things going on today that I've got no clue why that's happened, and there's an absolute total lack of any information coming up from race control.
That's quite bizarre, because
yeah.
Kozlowski, everything's set in stone from yesterday.
I'm saying that the only thing I can go on is the timing screen does not have a checkered flag alongside him, so he didn't take the checker, which means he came in and the car's been repaired out of Parc Fermé, which is automatically back at the grid.
Yeah.
So we'll send Ben down there, I think, to try and find out what exactly they had to do on the car. There is Michael Kozlowski in his Lada Vesta, starting on 16th spot on the grid. No James Thompson, so just the 2 Ladas in the field here. Tomo having to rush home, not feeling at all well. An abscess in a tooth has burst or needs lancing, and so that's, I know, not from personal experience, but from close family experience, that is unbelievably painful. It feels like your entire head is exploding. Well, there's Gabriele Tarquini. Voyage into the unknown for Gabriele, because they were clearly doing a fairly major setup change, and I think he's going for something that is a bit of a wild card and that they've not tried before, Matt, and so maybe starting from the back at the grid isn't such a bad place to be doing that.
Yeah, they were adjusting something under the flat. They had the flat floor off, or a section of it in the middle of the rear suspension, so I was guessing it's roll centers. And to just explain that, that's an imaginary point where the car will rotate out round. It can be deep underground, or it can be 2 meters above the ground. So it's where that car is going to pivot round, and it can make a massive difference to to how the car handles.
Well, Mikko Kozlowski needed tension to the front of the car, apparently, at the end of race 1, so he didn't complete the final lap, came into the pits instead for them to start working early on the car, knowing that he was going to take the grid drop. Stefano D'Aste in the all-Incal Chevrolet. Dominic Greiner, the chief engineer there on the right-hand side. Big Dom, not quite so Big Dom these days. And Mehdi Banani starting 11th on the grid here with D'Aste alongside him. Banani not finding anything like the pace in the Citroën here this weekend that he did in Marrakesh.
And he did in Argentina. He was very, very honest in Argentina. So, but the circuit's just, he hasn't found the sweet spot. It's obviously the first weekend the Citroëns are running heavy compared to the rest of the field. So, whether he's just not seemed to cope with it the way the rest of them have.
Pole sitter Ivan Muller for race 1. Top 10 in the race 1 grid are turned upside down for race 2. So he starts in 10th place. Row 5 of the grid, and inside him will be the man who started alongside him in race 1, Hugo Vallant. We heard from Hugo, a little bit disappointed not to win the race. He wanted to be on the top step of the podium, but had another 3rd place finish. Starting to get bored with those now, and that's always a good sign in a driver, isn't it? You know, in the top 3, on the overall podium for a privateer. Yeah. No, I want to win.
Yeah, I mean, one of the great things is we've got him back in the mix, obviously with Lopez and Muller, but we've got some great flashpoints. You know, looking at the grid, we've got Michelitz, it's his world to try and win this race in front of the fans. We've got Chilton, who smells a victory, and he fancies it. He's got the new Engine Aero kit on his Chevy on the front row. You know, you've got Huffy, 2nd row, and they're looking for, they're looking for the first podium with that Lada Vesta. So,
and then you've got this man, the championship leader, our race 1 winner, in 8th place with his closest rivals beside and behind him. All his teammates clustered around in the middle of the pack, in the middle of the first turn. You know, we saw with that mistake of Ivan going to the wrong line on the grid, which he is obviously completely unaware of, may be a major turning point in the championship. But again, often accident damage.
He's probably aware of it, Martin, but he's just, if in doubt, deny it.
Yeah, well, you know.
we'll worry about it later. Loeb's going to want to make up points here. He's bled a load of points to the other two, so he's going to see if he can jump the first couple of rows and put some cars in between him and his teammates.
Yeah, Muller got dangerously close to him. He's only 6 points behind now. Loeb's 2nd place in the championship is under pressure. And in front of him is Qinghua Ma, the 33 Citroën C-Elysée. Chinese driver did occasional races last year and showed good form. He's full championship, full season entry this year, so he will do every race as a full championship contender. And he's an entertaining driver. I do like watching him, and I think as he gets more experience with this car, that is only going to get faster and faster. There's the new Type R bodywork on this Honda Civic, now Honda Civic Type R WTCC. More aero, more grip, and more question marks to be thrown at the engineers. Thiago Monteiro, though, good attacking race 1, and he starts here in 5th place, which is where he finished race 1. So he'll be looking to try and move forward, and of course, first target will be one of the 2 bright yellow cars in front of him. He's got an all-canary row 2. Rob Huff in 4th place, and alongside him, Tom Coronel in 3rd. And there in front of Huffy's car, incidentally, you see the finish line. So that's the checkered band across the road. That's where the finish line sensor is. The start line is further forward, but the front of the grid is not quite as far forward as... Anyway, there's Tom Coronel in 3rd place. As entertaining as ever. I know a lot of fans will follow him on Twitter, on Facebook, and now on Periscope. So if you have Periscope app,
you'll
be able to see a lot of stuff from Tom. Yeah,
the personality of World Touring Cars for sure.
And again, those fans of Coronels who follow him through social media, I absolutely guarantee what you see with Tom is what you get. He doesn't put on an act for the cameras, or if he does, he puts on an act from the moment he wakes up to the moment he goes to sleep. It is pure Coronel, unadulterated, unfiltered. It's all there. Now, Tom Chilton, like Hugo Vallant, starting on the front row of the grid with this updated engine and aero package on the car. All the Chevys have got the aero package, but only Chilton and Vallant have got this new engine upgrade. And it is a quick bunny in a straight line. And that's going to mean pressure for Norbert Mikelic.
Yeah, just looking at the new rear wing and setup of the Honda there. And the extra long front end here on Michelitz's car, which is the same as the factory cars.
Yeah, great looking body kit on the car. And of course, the iconic Type R brand coming back to Civic and being launched in Europe this summer. As ever, Norby looks like he's nodded off as if he's got no interest. And this is his little internal focusing mechanism. He just sits there, and he's not the only one. I've seen many drivers do it, and in fact some drivers have actually admitted to falling asleep for a moment or two while they've been on the grid, which for a layman like me seems almost impossible to even contemplate, and especially with this noise. How could you nod off through that? That's quite remarkable. Final formation lap around the Hungaroring for round 6 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. On pole position is the local hero, Norbert Mikelic. Tom Chilton has taken the lead of the Yokohama Trophy, starts in second place here, but Mikelic is on pole. Let's hear what he thinks. Well, we're hoping to have a word from Norby, but perhaps understandably, he's focusing a little more on temperatures, tyre and brake temperatures, because he's got a race to win here. Tom Chilton right behind him, racing in specs as ever, and Tom also thinks that this is his race to win. So too, I'm sure, do Tom Coronel and Rob Huff. If they can get in the mix in the opening couple of laps, I mean, it's a rule of thumb, isn't it? If you're in front in Hungary or Monaco, you've got to give it away.
Yeah, I mean, the Citroens have been incredible at coming through the pack and then cutting their way through, but this is one of the circuits. Remember the Honda, it was Jenson Button's first win.
Yep.
And it's because he managed to get to the front and he could hang on there, so...
Norby, has he come to the right grid spot? I look out the window as you look at the Zengo Motorsport team. He has, so no issues there. He will be on the front row of the grid and everybody else will form up behind. Mikelic, Chilton, Coronel, Huff, Montero, and then all the Citroens. Marr, Loeb, Lopez, Vallant in the Chevy, and then Muller and Bernani. Behind Montero, 5 of the next 6 cars are Citroen C-Elysées. Bernani comes very late to his grid spot, but lines up just about perfect. And the green flag waves. We are ready to go racing here once more. Chilton pointed towards the right-hand side as the driver looks at it. Away go the lights, away goes the field. Good start from Montero. Tarquini on the grass trying to go around John Philippi. Another legendary start for him. Coronel up into second ahead of Chilton. Chilton's got the new engine package. Coronel hasn't. Tom will be happy with that. One of the Toms at least. Montero on the inside, but look, it's 3 wide as Marr and Muller make contact, and so too does Huff. He gets turned around and hit by every Citroen. How did they all manage to hit him? He's only got 1 car and there's 4 of them. Huff at the back of the field. Loeb around the outside of Montero. Who is the next Citroen? Lopez ahead of Muller, ahead of Marr, and Vallant in the middle. Again, Lopez has come through like a charm, and Muller got held up there, trying to go around the outside of Lopez at 4. That's not going to work even on new tyres, because Lopez has got the same amount of grip. Getting a little push from behind. That Chevy again, look, turns in and it's coming off the corner better than Muller's Citroen. Ugo Vallant really pushing hard on this opening lap, but Matt Neal, wow, contact in the first couple of corners, and Rob Huff pushed to the back of the field.
Yeah, Huffy definitely got properly beaten up by the Citroen masses there, but a dream start for Michelitz, and it's the perfect scenario at the moment.
Well, all sorts of changes behind. There is a yellow car in the equation. Is that Kozlowski? Did he get a great start? It is. Kozlowski up behind de Moustier. So Kozlowski, in whatever was going on at the back of the field when Tarquini was bouncing on the grass, Kozlowski found some track and he moved up the order.
The timing screen has actually got Chilton in second.
Timing screen is a lap behind. We'll ignore that and go with our eyes, because Coronel got in front of Chilton and the timing screen will catch up at the end of the lap. And that's what is remaining of Rob Huff's left rear corner. And it's actually the same thing that happened to him in Argentina, isn't it? Miklish leads. It's the two Toms, the two teammates at Royal Motorsport. Tom Coronel in front of Tom Chilton. Montero defends hard against Loeb. And then it's Lopez and Muller in those 3 white Citroens. But Tom Coronel ahead of Tom Chilton. And now it's all about line and length. Coronel doesn't have to have a faster engine. He just has to position his car right to stay in front of Chilton.
Well, Chilton's going to be... This is the perfect scenario for Michelitz at the moment, because Coronel's not got the engine upgrade. He's not got the faster car. So Chilton's going to want to get in a hurry and get on and try and get after Michelitz. But Michelitz can make a break early on.
We could end up... I'm going to venture this now and immediately be shot down. We could end up with a podium without a Citroen on it. And if it's going to happen, this would be the place. And if it's going to happen, Montero has to defend now for the remaining 13 or 12 and a half laps, because he's got to hold off Loeb, Lopez and Muller. Bernani's out of it, as you can see. Under bonnet temperatures have soared for some reason. Huff is out of it. In cockpit temperatures have probably soared there since that contact. Bernani not involved with Huff. The only Citroen in the field who wasn't.
It'd be nice to get a replay of what happened to Huffy on there, but I don't know whether he was dishing it out and got some back, but he definitely got properly. He was the bit of a pinball wizard going around turn 1.
Well, he was on the inside of a couple of Citroens into turn 1, but that left him on the outside in turn 2, and all the Citroens sort of met in the middle, and as Huff got turned around, pretty much all of them, I think, may have a bit of yellow paint on them. Well, Bernani's out. Miklish leads by 2.1 from Coronel Chilton, and then Montero holding everybody else off for the moment. Gregoire de Moustier, the Eurodata car machine, in 10th place, holding off Stefano D'Aste. That's a battle of 2 Chevrolets. And Thiago Montero, whatever changes Gabriele Tarquini has made, haven't made his car any quicker than Montero's. So Tarquini is in the pit lane, in fact. So whatever they did, either he's had... Oh, of course, he went across the grass, so that's probably what has kiboshed Tarquini's race. Montero holding off Sebastian Loeb. And a speed advantage. Again, Matt Neal, like Monaco, a speed advantage doesn't help here. You've got to have some other way of getting by.
You have got to fight your way past here, but I always say there's no substitute for straight line speed. Now Michelitz is really got his head down, which is great, but he's in the Yokohama Trophy, so it's a double whammy for him. But it is a full factory spec car he's running. It's the same as the Castrol guys. It's just a different livery. So he's got everything that Honda can throw at him, and he's making good use of it at the minute.
And if it finishes the way it is, he will take the lead of the Yokohama Trophy away from Tom Chilton, who took it away from Mehdi Bernani in race 1. So it's that close at the top. Bernani won't score now, so he's gone back. Tarquini, you just saw being ushered out of the garage, so did he pick up a puncture with his rally crossing? It's entirely possible. Norby, 2.119 ahead last lap. Comes across the line ahead of the 2 Toms.
Tarquini probably got a radiator full of grass on that one.
Norby's opened up 6 tenths. on Chilton's windscreen, was that spots of water, or is that just a peel-off windscreen with little air bubbles in it? It might be just a peel-off windscreen.
I
I'm
would
sure,
liven things up a bit.
sure we would see spots of water on the camera lens before now, if there were any. Just has been... Rain's made its appearance several times already this weekend, and that would definitely put the cat among the pigeons here. Michaelis 2.7 away from the Toms. Coronel in front of Chilton. Coronel in the yellow DHL car, and Chilton in the black and red capsicum car. They're all thumping it over the curbs there at turn 4, aren't they? You hear them all bump, bump, bump. I suppose they're all getting ready for the carousel, aren't they, at the Nordschleife in 2 weeks' time.
Fastest first sector of the race for Michelin's again.
Fastest race lap last time round as well. A second, nearly quicker than any of the Citroens. That's a blinding lap from Norby.
Yeah, the Citroens are all bottled up at the moment.
Well, hang on a minute. Has Norby not found pace all weekend and suddenly managed to make it somehow for the right race? That's quite impressive if it is. What was the fastest lap in race 1? I didn't write it down.
It was about a mid-50, so I mean 50.4 or something, and he's doing a 50.6, so yep. He's down there with the times of the Citroens.
Of course, they have fresh tyres and a full tank of fuel at the start of race 2, so it's not like the cars get quicker from race 1 to race 2.
I'll tell you what you might have done, because
kept
you
new tyres for race 2.
You only have so many new tyres, you have to carry over a lot of used ones from previous meetings. He might have saved all his best rubber for this race too, knowing that's the best opportunity he's got.
Might have done.
Well,
Ladbrokes aren't going to give you money on him not doing that.
There you go, 50.4.
Yeah, he is absolutely charging away from the rest of the field. The cars behind, Tom Coronel doing a 51.2. So that's that's an 0.8 of a second faster lap from Norbert Michaelis. It's quite impressive. Home circuit and everything, but he only races here once a year, same as all these guys. Some of them will have raced here more frequently than Norby has. Thiago, for instance, raced here in Formula 1. Norby didn't. Lopez raced here in GP2. Lopez... No, I don't think he did race here in Formula Renault V6, but he's certainly got experience here. Thiago in 4th place. What's his lap times like? 51.49 is his best. 51.79 last time round.
Yeah, he's keeping a very tight line in that Civic there, so yeah. He's only got to give those Citroens a glimmer of light on the inside, and they're going to be nibbling their way at the back of him.
And the question is, Matt, you know, Norby's just done a 1-minute 50.4, and the best that Montero's done is a 1-minute 51.4. Let's take a look again at the start. Watch Tarquini on the right. Great start. Filippi has no idea he's coming until he's actually alongside the driver's window. So Gabrielli bounces all over the grass. What we actually want to see...
What did he do that for? Why did he turn left?
Because Demoustier was in the way.
No, Tarquini, obviously, to avoid an accident.
OK,
but...
watch Huff, yellow car, 6th or 7th row back. He's on the inside here behind all the Citroens. 3 run out wide, all 4 run out wide. And actually, Huff gets biffed by... Mar, but Mar is getting biffed from the outside, look.
No,
Mar gets a tank slapper. Loeb, no, it's Loeb. Watch Loeb, he hits Lopez, comes back across Mar, who then is trying to avoid getting taken out by Loeb, who goes from hard shoulder to central reservation in one move.
That was Loeb coming across the track.
That was Loeb.
Causing the accident. Mar went to avoid, and Huffy was the
had nowhere to go, and Huffy, you know, he inherited the luck there, didn't he?
What a rotten weekend for Lada. They was hoping so much for him this weekend with Tomo out and Huffy now wounded, and
Gabor Weber there in the front of the Zengo Motorsport Garage. He raced with Zengo in World Touring Cars 2 or 3 years ago. He's their Hungarian TV Formula 1 lead commentator. In the train of Citroens. Well, now that we've seen the replay, Sebastian Loeb's 5th place, I'm saying, is not likely going to last.
That'll be a racing incident because he didn't actually hit Huff himself.
Yeah, he hit everything else. He hit Lopez.
Probably thought he was a tree, trying to avoid it.
Yeah, he got sideways, just asking too much of the tyres on in the first corner on lap 1. Gabriele Tarquini, fastest race lap, a 1 minute 50.3. That's a tenth quicker than the identical Honda of Norbert Michelisz. Mechanically identical, that is. Different coloured, black and red car. So Tarquini, whatever they made, did work. That change has worked for him.
Yeah, it's very good, isn't it? Very positive.
Excellent. Get him in and do more of the same. Maybe next time. But that's exactly what they needed to find out. In fact, they could probably do is staying here for a day or two to test where Lada are testing as well. Tarquini, fastest race lap. Michelisz leads by 5.2 seconds. Coronel starting to ease away from Tom Chilton. Chilton with the upgraded engine package in his Chevy Cruze, but he's just spent 6 laps up behind Tom Coronel, wearing his tyres more than Coronel because he's been in the dirty air and Coronel's been in clean air, and now the advantage is working. Coronel's able now to go away because he's got more grip left.
Yeah, Marta, it's not just tyres. It's tyres, it's brakes, its engine will be running hotter. As the engines run hotter, they lose horsepower. So it has a double whammy or triple whammy effect.
Do you want to tell that to Lopez, who's been pushing Loeb around since the start of the race and still looks quicker? After investigation, no further accident, the stewards say, on the turn 1 incident. Loeb got away with that one then. I think Huffy will be very unimpressed.
Yeah, now the one thing we have suffered around, has been prevalent around here is high tyre wear, and Lopez was impeccable in race 1, the way he handled it. But a lot of the other races we've had this weekend, MotoGP, European touring cars, the leader has slid off on the last lap. So Michelitz is at mid-distance, but he's got to drive. He's got to keep his concentration levels right up there.
Yeah. Well, he absolutely will. So will Lopez, because he wants to get in front of Loeb. Losing points to anybody at this stage of the season is never a good thing. You want to make sure that when you get to the gala dinner at the end of the year, you're the one who walks up and receives the trophy. If it's by half a point, it doesn't matter. Just ask Niki Lauda. Well, Bernani is he back out? Just flashed up a fastest sector time, whatever.
No, Bernani's not out.
All the Ladas are now parked in a garage. Jimmy Thompson's didn't start, Rob Huff's didn't survive, and Mikhail Kozlowski's repaired car has also gone back into the garage, as you saw. Tom Coronel, Tom Chilton, second and third. And Thiago Monteiro has shaken off Sebastian Loeb, leaving Loeb to deal with Lopez. And Lopez is still trying to get by him. Lopez doesn't seem to be suffering with brake or tyre issues, or if he is, he's somehow driving round them.
Now, all Lopez has really got to do, because it's Loeb and Muller, on him for the championship, he's just got to finish. But that's not a
that's not his way.
No.
He's not a just going to finish guy. He's a just going to get by everybody guy.
What's surprising is Muller's not, obviously Loeb's holding them up there, but Muller's not putting Lopez under pressure as well.
Stefano D'Asti versus John Philippi, and D'Asti goes down the inside and goes wide on the outside. Philippi holds the line and holds the spot. That's the battle for 11th place.
Bit of Italian temper going in on the braking there.
Yeah, Stefano could do with the engine upgrade in his car as well. I'm sure he'd be very happy with that. Loeb, Lopez, Muller, top 3 in the championship, not in that order. It's a battle for 5th place.
Michelitz extends his lead by another half a second, so he's just making a nice little cushion there, which he can... Chilton's lost a wee bit of contact with Coronel now. Coronel's in a comfy second there.
There's Norby. Well, now we said that it was 1.2 at the line. It's out to 1.6 nearly now over Chilton, and Chilton now is going to have to start to worry about Thiago, because we've still got 5 laps to go after this one is finished. There is the Zengo Motorsport pit wall. And Norby's girlfriend looking fairly relaxed, his fiancé chatting with his engineer Gergely. Real family team. Two brothers working in the team. And
Hungarian fans smelling blood.
There is the rest of the family. They are. This Norby is going, let's hope, for his sake and for theirs, to deliver another win at home in Hungary for them. I think that might be win number 3 for him on his home circuit. Tom Coronel, in his entire career in the World Touring Cars, only raced one weekend at home at Zandvoort, and that was one of his worst weekends outside of Marrakesh. Here, though, doing a great job, second place, ahead of Tom Chilton. Chilton will all squirm over the curbs there, and every time that happens in front of you, when you're Thiago Monteiro, you're going, here we go, I'm catching him, he's feeling the heat.
Yeah, Monteiro's got that Civic on the limit for sure. Now, whether
Zoltan saying go?
He's giving it going.
Well, I know he doesn't need to rev Norby up. I think he's just revving the crowd up.
Yeah, whether Chilton's punished his tyres too hard in those opening few laps, trying to keep Coronel under pressure, but he's definitely falling back into the clutches of Monteiro now.
Yeah. And then, of course, the double-edged sword for Monteiro is he's catching him, and then he gets into the dirty air, and his attack stalls, and then his underbody temperatures start to rise, his brake temperatures start to rise, his tyre wear starts to rise. So unless he can catch Chilton and pass him fast, he's going to be stuck as well.
And then the Citroens come back into play.
And then the Citroens come back to you, and Sebastian Loeb on the back bumper is probably not really what he wants, because he knows behind Loeb will be Lopez and Muller as well. At the moment, looks as though Tom Chilton has responded on that last lap. 51.7 from him, 51.8 from Monteiro. 10th of a second is, I mean, empirically it's nothing, but it is just another fraction further out of Monteiro's clutches. Because you only need to be on the brakes a 10th of a second later, and you've made up a couple of car lengths on somebody, Matt. The speed they're doing at the end of the front straight, you know, well over 165, 170 miles an hour, you close 2 or 3 car lengths.
Martin, I'm just looking at the timing screen, and that setup change they've obviously done on Tarquini's Honda in the interim is mega. I mean, the times, he's a second a lap quicker than anybody else almost on the circuit at the moment, and he's still banging in those fastest laps. Yeah, last lap 7/10 quicker than a race leader, Norbert Michaelis, who is the only other man fringing with a 1:51.0. Tarquini's last lap of 50.6, Norby's fastest race lap of 50.43, and Tarquini's a 50.35. So yes, suddenly we're seeing that in race 2 here, that Honda Civic Type R has taken a big step forward. That could be absolutely mega with Nürburgring in 2 weeks' time. That is exactly what Honda. And what it will mean is, because this is only one race weekend, they're not suddenly going to be lumped with maximum ballast weight either. Citroën will still have an aggregate faster car because they had fastest laps in race 1. So that they will just hopefully be able to build on this speed and grip and get to the Nordschleife, maybe in the position for outright race 1 win. Well, the only thing the Hondas do struggle a wee bit is down the big long straight at the ring with top speed, which and top speeds the Citroens are especially slippery down there. The top speeds on the Nordschleife are going to be insane. Lap 11 of 14. Norbert Michaelis has done 2/3 of the job. You can see everybody is trying hard not to look tense, to try and look relaxed, but it's not over till it's over. He's got a nice cushion there. He just needs to he can actually back it off. He's keeping the pressure on. He's putting in some good laps still, but he just needs. Yeah, but Matt, what happens when you relax? Ask Antonio Pizzonia. Went off, made a mistake last lap of the race yesterday, having led every inch in the rain in AutoGP. Yeah, I always remember Nigel Mansell in Canada, was it? Yeah, slowed down so much to wave to the fans that actually the gearbox didn't have enough in it and chunked the engine stalled. Yeah, and it happened, you know. Senna crashing in Portier, leading the Monaco Grand Prix by miles. Jack Brabham giving victory to Jochen Rindt in Monaco, again with a mistake. It happens a lot. And as a result, today, winning the AutoGP race, the Brazilian said, I didn't celebrate until I passed the checkered flag, because yesterday I relaxed, I made a mistake. And that is something that Norby is absolutely
not going to do here. He still leads from Coronel, Chilton and Montero, with Lopez in 6th position, and now backing off the attack on Sebastian Loeb. Ivan Muller, the race 1 pole sitter, finished in 2nd position, but some question over what penalty might be applied for him starting on pole, but a row in front of where it is required that the poleman starts here in Hungary. So quite what comes of that remains to be seen.
I would guess that's going to just be a healthy fine. They don't want to.
Yeah.
They don't want to pull points off him in the championship.
That would be really very tough. I think you may well be right. It may end up as a fine, because to penalise somebody that much, it's not like he did anything dangerous or you know, illegal. It just wasn't quite where he should have started. He was in the grid box, just he was in the wrong grid box. So I rode too far forward. Yeah, so well, whatever. He lost points to Jose Maria Lopez, who got by him in the run down to the first corner. I think to both their surprises, Muller's car stumbled away from the line, and Lopez, who was looking to get by Hugo Vallant, accidentally got by both front row starters and cruised on to win. So Muller lost points there to Lopez, and he's behind him again. Only 1 spot behind him, but if you finish behind him even by 1 position in every race, you ain't going to be champion. He might not, but you definitely won't be.
Loeb definitely seems to be renewing his attack to Montero, which should take a bit of pressure off Chilton. Let Chilton focus and get his head down.
Well, Chilton's now opened up the gap over Montero to just a fraction over a second, and it was down at 7/10 2 or 3 laps ago. So Tom's just creeping away from Thiago. As you say, Loeb is creeping up to Thiago. So again, maybe Thiago last lap a 52.2, Norby a 51.1 in his Honda, and Tarquini a 50.9 in his Honda. So what we know is that Montero has got the worst setup on his Honda at the moment. Whatever they've done in the Zengo car of Norbert Michelisz, and whatever big change they did to Gabriele Tarquini's car, both have worked better than what Thiago has gone to the grid with.
Yeah, Montero's definitely he's wringing the neck of that thing to hang on in 4th place.
And Thiago had to play safe because he was middle of the grid, middle of the top 10 for both races. Tarquini had nothing to lose, so they could really be quite radical, and what they've done has worked. And for Norby, actually maybe the extra half a second he's got over Thiago is just the noise below us in the grandstands, and that national pride that he is desperate not to let the fans down.
2 laps to go at the end of this one.
I think he's got people power on his side, hasn't he? No, 1 lap to go at the end of this one. This is lap 13 of 14. So here we go, and the cacophony builds as he comes into sight. They're watching him on a giant screen above the pit lane all the way round, but it's redoubled as he comes across the line. They don't know the meaning of keeping your powder dry here. They go big every lap. They go large every lap, but they will absolutely explode if and when he's in front at the end of this last lap. The lead, 9.2 seconds over Tom Coronel. Coronel now, he has shaken off Tom Chilton significantly, 2 seconds behind him. Will be very happy to relax in this position. Chilton clear of Thiago Montero, and actually Loeb's not close enough to have a go at Montero, who is very nearly a full second behind Thiago's Honda. So even if Thiago makes a little mistake, Loeb is going to have to be unbelievably fortunate to take advantage of it. Going to have to be a big error by Montero to give away a second. One of the key spots there, corner 4, safely through. And this long, tyre-killing corner 5 as well.
I'd imagine Lopez is going to walk away from this weekend. Job done, solid result.
Yep.
Pulled points on your teammates. Loeb, how do you think he's going to walk away from it? Pretty disenchanted, I would have thought. OK, he's pulled a few points back in race 2, but yeah, it's a bit of a nothing-y weekend for him, isn't he? He wasn't really challenging in race 1, and he
didn't get close to Lopez, but he's got Ivan further back behind him again in race 2. So that second place, he's just eased a few more points away. But whatever else, I know where the biggest smile will be after race 2 here in Hungary, and it'll be inside the helmet of Norbert Michelisz. Hear the crowd now reach a massive crescendo as he comes across the line in his victory in round 6 of the World Touring Car Championship. Norbert Michelisz does it again in Hungary. Second for Tom Coronel, and he will be very happy with that. And there is Zoltán Zengó, the team boss, the man who gave Norby his start. Norby was a winner on online racing, a gamer, and somebody suggested to Zoltán, hey, we should give this kid a go in a car. So he gave him a little test in a Renault Clio, and before you know it, the kid is turning up in the Seat Leon Euro Cup and then in the World Touring Car Championship, and is racing and winning again at home in Hungary.
Tyrrell Motorsport cars on the podium as well. How about that?
Yeah.
And as you said earlier on, not a single Citroen.
When, this is one for Neil Hudson of Touring Car Times, when was the last time there were 2 Royal Motorsport cars on the podium? I'm going to say it was in... It is like our Nige winning the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, isn't it? You know, it's that kind of effect here in Hungary.
Oh, it's a massive effect. You can just see the reaction of the crowds. I'm surprised we're not getting a track invasion, actually. They've got them pretty well penned back here,
Yeah.
but
They're very polite.
the whole of the
about
Zengó
it all.
Motorsport guys.
Yeah.
Phenomenal achievement. And it's the first win for Honda this year, which is fantastic. New car.
And as last year, Norby the first man to win for Honda in the season.
And with the potential with Wichita Queen is shown in that race,
Yep.
that makes it quite exciting going forward for the next one.
Yeah, and Thiago won't be too disappointed with a 5th and a 4th today. I mean, that was good, and he had to go with a sensible setup that they knew what it did. But you're right, with Tarquini, they could throw out the baby with the bathwater. If it didn't work, it didn't matter. But actually it did. He got the fastest race lap, and his race pace right to the end, his last lap, a 1:51.1. And the only other car in a 51 on the final lap was Coronel. Norby slowed down to a 1:53.8. He did actually cruise around the last lap. Manel gets the first of many hugs from Norby. And there you go. That's Alessandro Mariani from Yasport, who of course build these Hondas. Thanks, Norby. That's Honda's first win of the year. Round 6 of the championship. 5 previous races won by Citroën C-Élysée. 3 for Jose Maria Lopez, 1 for Sebastian Loeb, and 1 for Ivan Muller.
I'd say if he doesn't get another win all year, he's just made it this weekend, hasn't he?
Yeah. Wow. There's Zoltán Zengó on the right. And William de Brecquelaire, the man who finally baited the carrot enough for Honda to come into World Touring Cars. Well, down there too is Alex Legui. Let's get down and join Norby in Hug Central.
Norby Michelisz, you win race 2 in your home ground here in Budapest. Congratulations.
What a lucky man I am. I mean, to have a race victory in front of these people is just amazing. I remember very much 2012 when I won the race, and now it's just, I couldn't hope for anything better. So thanks for everyone involved for having this fantastic car for the second race. Everything worked out like I planned, so yeah.
At what point did you start celebrating? Was it during the last lap, or were you still worried until the last bit?
It was difficult because I was pushing hard just to be focused. So I didn't even look a lot in the mirror. I didn't even take a look at the pit board, how many laps are left. So I think two laps before the end, I realized that now I'm very close to finishing first, and I got quite excited after that.
And just look at your crowd.
Amazing. I mean, what can you say? I'm so lucky to have these people behind me. So yeah, thanks a lot for everyone who came today. It's a dream day for us, I think for all of us, for Hungary especially. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
We talked earlier about Tom Coronel's digital personality being exactly as he is in real life. And that's everything you need to know about Norby in that one speech. His first words, "What a lucky man I am." And that's everything about him. It sums him up perfectly. He is living a dream, isn't he? And realises exactly that. He's got an entire country supporting him.
And suddenly Honda sales have a nice little boost in Hungary, don't they?
Fantastic. First race weekend for the new upgrade Type R Honda Civic.
It gets a win,
and it gets a win. And he's exactly right. Not only did he set a fastest lap, so did Gabriele Tarquini, and he was pushing all the way. He was the fastest car on track, barring Tarquini, the entire race. And that, as much as the win is important for Norby and for Hungary, for Honda, that proof that there is a positive performance boost from the new upgrade is going to be very, very heartening indeed.
In third position, Tom Chilton.
Out onto the podium in third place comes Tom Chilton, Royal Motorsport teammate Tom Coronel in second spot, and our race winner. Wait for the cheers. Ben doesn't even need to say his name, he just calls Norby. That's all you need. And again here in Hungary, he's already got early with the champagne for our race winner and his team boss Zoltán Zengó, and for every man, woman and child in the track, the Hungarian anthem. Absolutely beautiful piece of music and a moment of respite for Norby there. The big sigh, relief that he didn't let them down. And now for our winning constructor, Honda, the Japanese anthem. Another majestic and dignified national anthem, the Japanese anthem. And Matt, that head back and that sigh, that clearly was just the relief of the pressure. Not that all those people put on him, but that he carries not wanting to send all these people home disappointed.
You can't explain the massive amount of pressure, because I always say that the difference, it's such a fine line you have to walk between making a big mistake and looking an absolute star. And you know, you've got to push it to, as he said himself, to the limit, and just keep focusing, just trying to keep the car inch perfect for those last few laps, because tyres will be wearing, brakes will be wearing, so the car's not handling as it should do. But it's a fantastic for all three of them, all three drivers, for Tommy Coronel, for Tom Chilton, but most of all for Michelin. It's on his home ground. It is for a British fan, it's Mansell-esque.
It is. and he has transformed the country's understanding of motorsport. It is no longer just Formula One. They get motor racing. They understand what this man is, what he does, and actually for the rest of the paddock as well. Every driver, the fans know them because they watch this sport, and they watch it because of Norby. And he is the biggest sporting star in the country, and he makes World Touring cars a must-see for the Hungarian fans. And Zoltán Zengó can take a lot of responsibility for allowing that young man to be the star he is. It was his dollar, or actually more accurately his forint, that put Norby in a car, and is still the driving force behind the team, driver and sponsor combination that keeps the whole of Hungary on the edge of its seat. And every single person presenting trophies wants to give a big hug to the Hungarians. The others, yes, absolutely, well done. But it's about Zengó, it's about Norby, and it's about Hungary.
And one of the endearing things about him, he's so modest still. Just such a lovely, lovely guy.
Well, actually, and every time we've come here, doesn't he just sum up all the Hungarians that we meet? Just pleasant, friendly, no front to them, all just the nicest folks. And it's really good to see, first of all, big win for Honda. Good result for the Royal Motorsport boys, both of them. And for Norby and the fans, and for Zoltán Zengó and all of the team. Still, it is a tiny family team. Again, they beat the best in the world. Well done, Norby.